First step, pull this straight out. The next is a T50 Torx. You got 4 of them. 2 on the front, in between the tracks, and on the rear, same way, in between the tracks. Slide the seat back to get the front and front to get the back. Pull the seat all the way up on the power, and then slide it to the middle of the seat range, because you're gonna need to take the power, you'll need to take the battery loose on it, negative battery loose, before you take the plug out under the bottom. All right, to unplug it, you pull the red retainer forward, and then on the top left, you're gonna have to push down and pull that forward. We're going to show you for power and manual. On the manual side, you've got T30s. This one here, you got one behind here, and you got one in the very rear there. And you got to take the little retainer off of that, and there's a Torx on that. Actually, that looks like about an 8mm. Okay, and then the other thing you're going to need, this a little tricky, this little spot right here. It's almost a 2-person job. One's got to squeeze that right here on both sides with a pair of pliers or needle nose, and the other one pull it out after you got all the other bolts out. When you're pulling this side off, some of these have a little metal piece that goes across here that you need to release also on the side, right where he's pointing to, before you release this middle right here. The other is separate this back here like that. Separate this little plastic panel right here also on the front side. All right, next, unsnap. This is the power version we're doing here. So T30 in the back, T30 in the front, and you'll see the little spot right here that you got to release with your fingers right there. You squeeze this piece here, pull it out after you got all the bolts, after you got this released, rear's released, but you're gonna need to separate it just like that on the rear, and then roll it over, and we'll do the front next, which the front is the same. Got a little bitty gap there that you're gonna need to open up. Snap it loose just like that. After you got it off, resist the urge to take this loose and set it on the table. It's a pain. Leave that in there because you really don't need it to take. All you need to do is unsnap these all the way around. There's the sides. Next is taking the cover loose all the way around. You got 4 across there. You got the side ones on the side over here. One in the front here. All the way across here, same on the side, here, here. And also, you got these little push clips right here that are on each side, one there and one there. Remove all of those. Most of them just pop off. All snap on a little groove right there. If you have a seat heater, right in the middle of the back, there's a wire coming down and around. You'll need to take it loose here and come right over here, squeeze this and unplug it. Slide the little red out, squeeze it, and take this loose. There's another clip to it, where the wire is going to come with the foam, because you're going to take the foam and the cover off the frame to replace it. On the rear, when you get ready to pull it out, after you got it, push it from the rear first, all the way around. And now you got the cover and the foam out as a whole, with the wire if you have a seat heater. All right, when you go taking these loose, they're snapped in there. Just kind of twist one hand and push with the other job. All right, we like to mark our center pieces on the side. Start from your center cross pieces first. snap into the snaps on each side, and do your side ones next. Next, after you got the face snapped on, take and roll it right over the edge. That's easier so before you get it on the frame. Cloth and leather, same difference. And to reassemble it back, make sure it goes over the top of that rod, not through it. And then see how it's pulling the frame up on the rear, and then pushing it with his body going back in, tucking everything through. The little tabs go under on the bottom. The covers snap onto that rail on the front, rolls over, snaps. The rear, make sure you've got that foam that came all the way over is in the correct position all the way across. All these little snaps snap on all the way around. Put your clips in these tabs in the front of the seat. Put them on each side. Snap your seat heater back if you had one. Okay, the next thing is start by snapping this together first. Where it's lined up correctly, snapped good. And you've got the little thing up under the bottom that's got to be lined up. And then you've got the screws in the front and the screws in the rear. And lastly, snap these little clips on the rear.